There's a problem on the digital SAT that shows up over and over and over again. And it's on the math section. These are hard problems, and I'm going to teach you how you can tackle it with ease. You're going to be a superstar. So first, you need to at least understand what the problem is. When you have a quadratic equation, you're always going to have a form ax squared plus bx plus c, where you have the squared on top of the x. If there is no x squared and it's just x, then it's just going to be a linear equation. Now, when you have a quadratic equation, to figure out how many solutions it has, you would use the formula b squared minus 4ac. If it's greater than 0, you're going to have two solutions. If it's equal to 0, you're going to have one solution. And if it's less than 0, you're going to have no solutions. You need to memorize this, you need to understand it, and that's going to help you through these problems. So let's start. Just going to share the practice exams. All right, so let's look at the first problem, and that's going to be 22. How many distinct real solutions does the system of equations have? So they're asking how many solutions does it have? So that's pretty straightforward, right? They give it to you exactly in this form, where whatever's in front of the x squared is a, whatever's in front of the x is going to be b, and whatever's left over is going to be c. So we use the formula b squared minus 4ac, and we see if that's going to be greater than 0, equal to 0, or less than 0. So b is 10, so it'd be 10 squared minus 4 times 5 times 16. And that would be 100 minus 4, 5, 16 is going to be 320. And that's going to leave you with negative 220. And since that's less than 0, you're going to have no solutions, right? If it's equal to 0, you're going to have one solution. If it's greater than 0, you're going to have two solutions. And if it's less than 0, you're going to have no solutions. Good? Let's move on to the next one. Look at 21. In the given system of equations, A is positive. The system has exactly one distinct real solution. So that's the key word. When they start to talk about how many solutions it has, it's a quadratic equation, one solution. So now you're going to know you're going to have to put it in the form ax squared plus bx plus c and use the b squared minus 4ac. So here they say y is negative 1.5 and then y is x squared plus 8x plus a. You could very simply just substitute this negative 1.5 in for y. So you have negative 1.5 is equal to x squared plus 8x plus a. You could bring the 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5. So you have x squared plus 8x plus a plus 1.5 equals 0. So now you have a quadratic equation. Don't be concerned about the a plus 1.5 here. Remember, whatever's in front of the x squared is going to be a. In this case, it's just a 1, right? 1 is in front of the x squared. Whatever's in front of the x is just b, and whatever's in front of whatever's remaining is going to be c. So a is 1, b is 8, and c is just a plus 1.5. So if the system has exactly one distinct real solution, then it's just b squared minus 4ac equals 0. And b squared is 8 squared minus 4 times a, which is just 1, times c, which is just a plus 1.5 equals 0. Just have to make sure not to mess up on the math here. So it's really 8 squared minus 4 times 1 is just 4, and now you have to distribute it. Don't forget. So this becomes 8 squared minus 4a minus 4 times 1.5 is just 6 equals 0. So then what you can do is you want to solve for a. So you want to bring the others to the other side. So you know 8 squared is 64. 64 minus 6 is 58. Bring it to the other side. So you subtract 58, subtract 58. So you have negative 4a is equal to negative 58. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. A is equal to 14.5. And that's the answer, right? Straightforward. You're using the same equation on many different variations of the same problem. Okay, let me show you another problem. This is all the same types of problems. Number 26. In the given equation, C is constant. The equation has exactly one solution. What is the value of C? So same thing. If it has one solution, we know that B squared minus 4AC has to equal 0, right? That's the only way you're going to get one solution. So what's B? So A is -9. This is A. B is 30. And C is going to be just C here. So 30 squared minus 4 times -9 times C equals 0. So 30 squared is just 900. Minus 4 times -9 times C. So -9 times C is just -9C. Times -4 is just going to be plus 36C equals 0. Subtract 900, subtract 900. 36C equals -900. Divide by 36, divide by 36. C is equal to -25. And that's going to be exactly what the answer is. So you have to just follow the same formula that we discussed. They're going to ask you how many solutions of a quadratic equation. You use the same formula. It doesn't matter what type of question they're giving you. You just use the same formula. Okay, let's look at another variation of these questions. These are all real practice exams. This is from the College Board, so this is what you're going to see on the real thing. In the given equation, b is a positive integer. The equation has no real solutions. So this is a quadratic equation because you see the x squared. No solutions, you know. If there's no solutions, b squared minus 4ac has to be less than 0, right? So no solutions has to be less than 0. What is the greatest possible value of b? So let's just plug this in. So a is this, -1, b is just b, and c is just -676. So b squared is just b squared minus 4 times -1 times -676 has to be less than 0. So let's do that. That's going to be -4 times 1 is just +4. +4 times -676 is going to be -2704. So b squared minus 2704 is less than 0. Let's add 2704 to both sides. So you have b squared has to be less than 2704. Now you can take the square root of both sides. You have b has to be less than 52. Great. So now what is the question asking? What is the greatest possible value of b? Now, a lot of students would say 52, but no, b has to be less than 52, and they're saying b is an integer. So what's the greatest integer less than 52? It would be 51, and that's the answer. This is seemingly a hard problem. I mean, a lot of students get this question wrong, but if you just follow the approach, the same equation that we're discussing, you'll be able to get this right easily. And chances are you're going to see this on the test because they ask this question all the time. Let's look at another question here. Which quadratic equation has no real solutions? Okay, how do you know if there's no solutions? You know if there's no solutions if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, so what do you have to do? Well, you got to try them and just see which one will get you less than 0. So remember, a is whatever's connected to the x squared, b is whatever's connected to the x, and c is whatever's left over. So in the first one, you have 14 squared minus 4 times -49. Well, -4 times -49 is just going to be a positive number. A positive number plus a positive number is just going to give you positive. So that's can't be A because we're looking for something less than 0. B is 14 squared. Well, -14 squared, which is just going to be 14 squared minus 4 times 49. And you might say, okay, that might be right, but don't just jump to conclusions. You have to actually calculate this. So 14 squared is 196. -4 times 49 is -196. So 196 minus 196 is equal to 0. A lot of students will answer this, but be careful. It's not less than 0. Equal to 0 means there's one solution, remember. So they're looking for no solution, so it has to be less than 0. So let's look at C. C is 14 squared minus 4 times negative 49 times 5. Um, and what is that? That's going to give you, for sure, it's going to give you a positive number because negative 4 times negative 49 is going to be positive. So it's just going to be a positive number, so that can't be right either. And then D has to be the right answer, but let's just look and make sure. 14 squared minus 4 times 5 times 49. And yep, that's going to give you definitely less than 0, and that's going to give you the right answer. So we see here variations of the same problem. All you have to do is recognize the number of solutions of a quadratic equation, b squared minus 4ac. If it's greater than 0, you're going to have 2 solutions. If it's equal to 0, you're going to have 1 solution. And if it's less than 0, you're going to have no solutions. So I want you to get this problem right the next time you see it. I'll see you in the next video.